Whenever a player asks me, BB Warrior, what type of red dot should I buy for Airsoft, I always like to recommend an entry-level AR-15 style of red dot. And the reason for that is just the quality that you're going to get for not much of a higher price point. The optic and the dot is going to be much more crisp and easier to use. You're not going to have to worry about the dot wandering on you, and overall there's going to be better features and a higher quality of the entire optic for, again, not much of a higher price. So in today's video, I want to talk to you guys about the optic that I have been using for over 2 years now, which is the Primary Arms Micro Red Dot. This is a small red dot that is big on features, and it doesn't have a very high price point at just under $100. What's up guys, my name is Lane and welcome back to the BB Warrior. We're here to help you have a better time both on and off the airsofting field. If you enjoy our videos like this, if you enjoy the industry discussions that we have, as well as our honest reviews like we're doing today, would love it if you joined our community by hitting that subscribe button down below, and while you're at it, make sure to hit that bell icon next to it to stay updated when we post new videos every Tuesday and Friday here on the channel. So the Micro Red Dot from Primary Arms is, in my opinion, one of the perfect optics for airsofters. Again, this is right around that $100 price point, and it has all the features that you would want in an optic for airsoft. So because this is built to be used on real rifles, even you gas blowback guys won't have to worry about the dot quality. It's not going to jump around or shut off as you shoot. So this will be perfect for you gas blowback guys, and then if you're like the majority of people like myself use AEG or HPA, you have nothing to worry about. So the dot in this is a 2 MOA dot, which is really crisp. You don't have to worry about it wandering off in your sight picture. It always stays right where you want it to. And this optic does have 12 brightness settings, which can be adjusted on the right-hand side of the optic. Now, the first couple of options you won't be able to see through the naked eye. And the reason for that isn't a fault in the product, is because those are built for use with night vision. So if you're someone who uses a PVS-14 and you want to actually, look through your dot, as opposed to using like a laser pointer that's IR, like a D-ball, that is possible with optics like this from Primary Arms. I know that there are a lot of people that think that if they want that capability, they have to go out and buy like an EOTech, which is much higher in price than this optic. But this optic does that for, again, that under $100 price point. It's pretty interesting doing that for the first time. Back at Milsim West, I ran this optic with a set of PVS-14s and a D-ball, and between using both of them, it was pretty interesting. I think I like the D-ball more, but I think I just need more practice using a PVS-14 with an optic like this. So I really, really like this optic because it has a long battery life, which is something that's important in any optic. You want it to work when you want, and you don't want to have to worry about replacing your batteries over and over and over. So this optic uses a CR2032 battery, which is stored on the inside of the adjustment knob for your brightness, and they advertise that the battery will last 1,000 hours. However, I'm not quite sure on that. This does have an awesome battery life, don't get me wrong, but I don't think that it's at that 1,000-hour point. You don't really have to worry about this. For the 2 years that I've owned this optic, I've changed the battery, probably less than 10 times in the entirety that I use it. I use this every weekend. I use it for airsoft, I use it for real shooting. So the battery life on this is fantastic, and I really do appreciate that about this optic. Now, this optic does include a Picatinny mount right out of the box. So if you want to throw it straight onto your rifle, or you want to pick up a riser, you can do that like I have here. I just have a standard riser here so that I can co-witness with my iron sights. However, if you want to use them, this optic will accept any standard micro mount. So you can remove the Picatinny mount, which is right here, and this will attach to any style of micro mount, like the one from Daniel Defense, or if you want to get one from Aimpoint themselves, this optic is compatible with those, which is a really nice touch. Now, I do have a few complaints about this optic that I want to address. So the first one is pretty major for those of you guys who, like myself, live in colder temperatures. This optic does not agree with you below freezing. This is just something that I have noticed, is that this optic likes to shut off and not work when it gets below freezing, which is a huge issue for me because, here in New York, it snows half the year practically. So when it gets too cold, this optic is just unreliable, which is why I like to have this at a height that I can co-witness my iron sights. We have talked about this in a previous video. If you'd like to learn about this and about why co-witnessing is important in Airsoft, there'll be a card in the upper right-hand corner to watch that video. However, that is something that I've noticed that when it gets too cold, this optic will just stop working, which is a huge, huge issue for me. But as a summer optic or an indoor optic, I absolutely love this thing. However, for colder optics, you're probably going to want to pick up an actual aim point. They do really, really well in the cold. But besides that, this optic performs fantastically. I tried changing out the batteries, but it just wouldn't work with me. And then as soon as I brought it inside, it would be absolutely fine. Now, another thing that I want to point out about this optic that they don't offer, which is probably just me nitpicking, but as an airsofter, I find this important. They don't make kill flashes for this optic. And when I asked them at Primary Arms, why don't you? It seems like a kind of important thing to have. Well, they said that the glass is too small for them to make one. I kind of get that, and I get why it wouldn't work. However, I realize that it would have been a nice touch, especially for us airsofters, where we're so worried about our optics getting shot out. I realize that, again, this is an airsofting problem. If you're using this and you're getting shot at with something that could break it besides airsoft guns, you probably have worse things to worry about than your optic breaking. But that is just something that I notice. So I'll typically throw, like one of the Speed Airsoft lens protectors over at, like the Lexan pieces or one of the ones from Valken. I'm going to try to make a custom one and then just kind of glue it on the front. However, that's just something that I noticed that really, really irritated me about this optic. Rounding out this review, this is a waterproof optic, and it does have O-rings on there to make sure that there's no water getting into the battery compartment, and Primary Arms does offer a 1-year warranty on their optics, which is a really nice touch. So if anything does happen to this, well, you can contact Primary Arms and get a brand new one. Again, this optic is right around that $89 to $100 price point, depending on where you go. So in my final verdict, is this optic worth the money? I think that as long as you're using this in something that is, again, above that freezing temperature range, this is an excellent optic, and this is probably one of the best value optics that you can get for airsoft. Using your red dot is pretty important in airsoft, as you all know, because you actually want to be able to hit your targets on target every single time. So having a good, high-quality red dot is really, really important to make sure that you're hitting shots, especially at further ranges. So I think that this optic is definitely worth the money. However, if you're in somewhere where it's cold a majority of the year, I would consider looking into different options or, moving up to something like an aim point optic, because those work really, really well in the cold because they're from a really, really cold country. But that is going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for staying until the end of my review of the Primary Arms Micro Red Dot. If you'd like to pick one of these up, I will leave a link down in the description below to where you can check these out. Again, I think they're an excellent optic as long as you keep them warm. But thank you guys so much. If you enjoyed the video, I'd love it if you joined our community by hitting that subscribe button down below. And while you're at it, make sure to hit that bell icon next to it. Again, even if you're already subscribed, just so that you get updates when we post new videos every Tuesday and Friday here on the channel. Make sure to check us out on social media. Links are down in the description below, as well as where you can pick up a BB Warrior patch to help grow the future of the channel and help me make better, higher quality videos for you guys. This has been Lane from the BB Warrior discussing the Primary Arms Micro Red Dot sight, and I will see you all next time.